to teach you how to make this really easy plant hanger, macrame plant hanger. It's just using one simple knot. So let's just go ahead and get started. And once you cut all your cords, you're going to attach them to your ring or your dowel using a lark's head knot. All we do is I match up my tails, fold it in half, take that looped folded end through the ring, pull it through a little bit, and then you're going to pull the tails through that loop, through the inside, kind of push them through, grab them and pull. Obviously you're going to have really long cords, and then pull them tight. And you're going to attach each piece to your ring or your dowel using this lark's head knot method. Okay, now that you've got all of your cords or your strings looped onto your ring or your dowel, we're going to be calling them cords. So this is my number 1, number 2, 3, 4, so you should have 16, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Perfect, because we put 8 strands on there, or 8 strings on there, so now we have 16 cords, double cords. So we're going to refer to them as such. So right now, to start, we're going to do the square knot in the center 4 cords. So find your center 4, and we're going to be doing a square knot with just those 4. So you can move these out of the way if you want. Okay, so here's a little close-up video of that square knot. So you're going to use 4 cords. You can take the left cord up over the top of your center 2, making that number 4. Take your right hand cord over the tail of your 4, and you're going to kind of pick up the center 2 and take that right cord under both those center 2 and pull it through. So it should look like that, and then you're going to kind of hold the center 2 as you pull up on both sides. That's going to make your square knot. So that's half the square knot. So now you need to go the other direction to finish your knot. So you're going to kind of straighten out your strands. Take your right hand cord, place it over the top 2 in a backwards 4. The left one goes over the top of the tail. Lift up the center 2 and push that left hand cord up inside the hole of your 4 and pull it. And together, each of those halves makes one complete square knot. So that's the primary knot we're going to be doing today. So if you need to come back and refer to this part, keep going with that. And just do your regular square knot. If you need to go back to the other video, okay, super easy. Now though, what we're going to do is we're going to create a pattern. So we're going to create a diamond pattern, and we're going to use 2 of the cords from the first square knot we created, and the 2 cords to the left and to the right to create 2 different square knots. So we're going to, first I'm going to I'll go ahead and go to the right since I'm holding on to those. So 2 from the right, and then 2 from the square knot and 2 from the right. So you'll notice your square knot is kind of, or your pattern now, they're kind of going down at an angle. So that's what we want to happen. So then I take 2 from that square knot, and then the 2 to the right, and make another square knot. One of the hardest things is working with really long strings, is just kind of keeping them organized on the ground. Okay. So you'll see that going down, sort of like a little stair stepper. So again, 2 from that square knot, and then 2 from 2 neighbors to the right. One more square knot. So this whole pattern is just square knots. So as you do that, you kind of want to straighten the ones that are up here, and those are going to just hang long. You can always add a little like tassel to that. It's kind of fun. Okay, so then you should have 4 going down in the top of that diamond. Okay, now we're going to go the other direction. So we're going to take 2 from the first square knot we did, and the left 2, or 2 to the left of it, and make a square knot. I kind of pull down on those center 2 to make sure they're nice and straight and organized. Okay. Then take 2 from that square knot and 2 to the left. You can see how this pattern is being created. And then your final knot is 2 from that last square knot and then 2 to the very left. Alright, so you should have sort of the top of your diamond pattern. So what we're going to do is create it going down now. So we're going to use the center 4 and create our next square knot. So go back to your center 4, and what that's going to do is create a little space right here. It's called a lace pattern in between our square knots. So center 4, square knot. Okay. Once you get that one, you're going to continue the pattern. So we're going to go to the left and then to the right. Okay. So 2 from that square knot I just created, 2 to the left, make a square knot, pull it down, kind of create that organized pattern. Okay, then I hold on to that square knot, take the 2 cords that are on the left of that square knot, and 2 from the neighboring 2 cords to the left, make another square knot. Okay, but I'm going to stop there because I want my pattern to come down inside. So I'm going to go to the other way, the other direction. So starting back at the center 2 square knot, or the center square knot, those 2 cords remaining, and go to its neighboring right 2, make a square knot with those 4. And then again, take the 2 from that square knot you just created, and the 2 to the right, make another square knot. Okay. We're going to come back to the center, do another square knot with these 4, the very center 4. And then you're going to go just over 1 time now. So take 2 from my dog's sneezing, 2 from the square knot, the left, and then the neighboring 2 cords, make a square knot. And then go to the right. So that's as far as you're going to go. So then the center 2 left from that first square knot, and then 2 neighboring on the right, and make a square knot. then to finish it, maybe you can see that pattern we're creating. So what would you guess that we would do is that final square knot in the middle, the center 4 cords are going to make that final square knot to finish our diamond shaped pattern. So it should look kind of like a diamond, okay, coming out and back in, and with this lace pattern in between. So those holes in between, yours might be a little bigger, right, depending on the size of your cord too. But that is that lace pattern right here, these little doohickeys, holes. Okay, so then this next option is a little bit advanced. So if this is your first time doing macrame and you want to just stick with the square knot, just stick with the square knot. Otherwise, we're going to do double half hitch to create a little bit of a diamond pattern. Here's one I did in a different color. So we're going to be going double half hitch, square knot in the middle, and then coming back. So if you want to give it a try, and if it doesn't work out, you can always unknot it. Not a big deal. So I'm going to take the 4 on the left and the 4 on the right, and I'm going to kind of get them out of the way. So just going to, let's see. A lot easier said than done. Just so you can see what's happening. Okay. So then you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 8 that are in the center. So 4 on the left, 4 on the right. Those we're going to ignore for right now. And then we're just going to work with the 8 in the center. So you're going to start with 1, 2, 3, 4, number 5 chord. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5th chord right here. This is going to be your working chord. So you're going to hold it in your left hand. Do not let go of it. Okay? It's always going to be your working chord. You're going to take the chord that's to the left of it. So 1, 2, 3, the 4th chord. I'm going to make a U shape in front of that. I'm going to pull my string up and over, and then inside the hole of that knot. I'll show you a close-up view in the middle of this video. So pull it up and kind of straighten your knot. So again, U shape, reach inside, pull that U. Oops, it's getting knotted. All right, here we go. Close-up version of the double half hitch. So you're gonna take that working cord, hold it in your left hand, don't ever let go. Take the cord that's to the left of it. It comes from underneath, then it crosses over in kind of a U shape. Then you're gonna reach inside that U and pull the strand through. So, and then you're gonna pull that knot all the way up to the top, and I kind of neaten it as I go, and I'll neaten it with my thumb, pushing it up there, and do it one more time. So make that U, crossing it over your working cord, reach inside the U, and then pull it tight. So it's going to create a diagonal shape. You're gonna keep doing this. So you go with the next cord to the left. Comes from under, crosses up over in that U shape, reach inside the U, pull it, and then pull it tight. All right, to go to the opposite side to complete the diamond pattern, you're gonna grab that working cord, and hold it in your right hand now. Take the cord that's to the right of it, make that U shape over the top, and then pull it inside the circle or the loop of your U. So again, crosses over, reach in, pull it under. Then grab the next cord, make that U, reach it over, reach in, pull it through. Again, neatening the knot with your thumb as you go. Pull it up over, reach inside your U, and pull the tail. So do not let go. Then I'm going to take the next cord over to the left. Do that again 2 times. So doing it twice is our double half hitch. As you knot, you'll see that it creates another diagonal shape. That's kind of the theme that we're going with. Again, if this is your first time and you don't want to try this, because this one can be frustrating, maybe you're getting it right here, but when we go the other direction, it can be a little bit confusing. You can do a couple square knots here, you can put a bead on, whatever you want to do. I don't know if I did that twice. Okay, so you go all the way to the end. Then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cords left, right? Still. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and take that 5th cord again. Hold it in my right hand. Take the cord to the right of it. It comes underneath, creating a U, then goes over. Then I reach inside and grab that and sort of help me pull it all the way through, and then neatly draw that knot all the way up to the top, and I scoot it over with my thumb. That's the key. So one more time, U shape in front. So it comes from, kind of just comes from where it's at. You can't force it behind anymore. U in front, reach inside, grab that cord, pull, and then neatly pull it up. Do not let go of this cord in your right hand. It's your working cord now. Grab the cord to the right of it. U shape. So we're going to double half hitch all the way through again. So you should be forming kind of a diagonal shape as you go down. Okay. So now you have the top half of your second diamond. All right, to create a square knot in the center, we're going to do kind of a fun technique where it's actually with 6 cords. So I'm going to leave out the outer 2 cords that were my working cords, and I'm going to make a square knot with these 6 inside. So it's the same way you do a regular square knot, except now I have 4 of the inside. So I'm going to make that number 4 over all 4 of those strands. Take the one on the right over the top of my tail and down inside and pull it through, just like you would do a regular square knot, but I've got 4 instead of 2 inside. And so you kind of want to neaten those. It's important here that we straighten and neaten our knot as we're going here. And then go the other way, backwards 4, pull it up inside, and neaten that knot. So this is just going to create a nice effect inside our diamond shape. All right, then we're going to come back the other direction to finish off our diamond. So I've got my working cord, holding it in my right hand. Take the cord that's to the right of it. It comes from behind it. Then I make that U shape in front, reach inside, and pull it through. As I do that, I'm pulling it up towards the top, neatening with my thumb. Just kind of scoot that knot up to the top. Do that 2 times with each cord. Remember, do not let go of this working cord. This stays the same. Then I grab the next one. Now, because they're kind of all clumped together, you're going to just have to pick which one is next. Mine are pretty straight, so I can tell which one should be next. But if yours are like in a bundle, just pick one. It won't really make a difference. All right, so then I grab the one next to it, make that U shape, reach inside, pull, and pull that knot all the way back. So double half hitch. Okay, and then do the same thing. We're going to do half of the cords. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Okay, perfect. So I have 3 left, well 4 left if you don't count my working cord. So I'm going to let go of that one now. Okay, then I'm going to take my cord that's coming out of the top of that diamond shape, grab it with my left hand. Okay, I want it to be on top of the cord that's to the left of it. So it should, the cord to the left now comes from underneath, makes that U shape in front, and then I reach inside and pull that knot through. Remember, I'm not going to let go of my left hand. Okay, then take the cord to the next, or to the next side. And you've got one more cord left to knot. All right, so you can see it's almost done, but they're not connected. So I'm going to keep that same working cord in my left hand, and I'm going to take the next cord that's to the left. So this is the one. This was the working cord from our other set, and I'm going to double half hitch it just like I've been doing. So it comes from behind, comes up over, forming that U, reach in, pull inside, and I'm going to do that 2 times. What that does, and here it's really important we neaten that knot, because that's connecting my diamond shape. Alright, so you really want to like scoot it and make it look nice, and that is the basic portion here. Alright, the next step is using the 4 on each side, and this part's really easy because you've already done the square knot. All we're doing now is the half square knot. So what happens is it starts to make a spiral when you do it only coming from one side. So take your, just like you're doing a square knot, except you're only going to make that regular number 4 shape. So I'm always pulling from the left side, and I'm going to kind of start it just like a little bit down. I'm not going to pull it all the way up to the top. So I almost finished my square knot. I don't want to finish my square knot. I want to go again from the left side. Number 4, reach in and pull. So you just have to remember to keep going from that same side. I'm going to show you what happens. 1, 2, I'm going to go like maybe 4 or 5 times. And then I'm going to let it turn. So you should be seeing like flat bars across your work. So you can see that it's starting to twist, all right? So what I'm going to do is let it twist, and now this cord is my left cord that I'm pulling from. So I keep doing that half square knot. Basically, you want to go as far as you want. I mean, this is your design at this point. So sometimes I won't go all the way down. If you have a lot of cord, that's why we have these longer ones on the end. You can go as far as you want, but the last part is to so see how I just let that, it wanted to twist, it was too hard to do it again, so I twist it, and then I'm still pulling from the left side. So as long as you twist and pull, so I am not even counting, but I kind of go by looks here instead of counting. If you're an exactor, I'm sorry, but I would say I've probably gone about 15 times so far. This one, I probably only went a total of about 15 times because I didn't have that much cord. But here I have a lot of cord, so I was thinking I would go pretty far down. So you're just going to keep going. Okay, I think I'm just going to go to about there. And then you can go to the other side. So if you want to count your knots to make sure you're totally even, okay, if you're a perfectionist, that's great, right? So you can kind of untwist it a little bit, and then you count the bars going across, so the horizontal lines. So if you want to make sure that you have enough, the same amount. So I can just tell by eyeballing I need to go about one more here. So that is first phase of our plant hanger. It's looking cute, right? So all we're gonna do next is add the pot. So grab your pot and we'll get ready for step 2. Alrighty, so we are gonna add our pot now. So this part can be a little bit intimidating because, at least for me, I wasn't sure how to measure the pot out, and this is how I do it, and could be different for, there's probably different strategies as there is for everything. But you can see for this one, what I'm gonna be doing, we're gonna connect 2 cords from either side of the spiral to create our sort of hanging spot right here. And we're gonna do that with 3 square knots. So it'll look like this once the pot's in there. So kind of, if you have a decorative pot and you only want to do 1 square knot, that would work perfectly fine as well. So it kind of, my pots are kind of plain, so I like to have a little bit of macrame decoration on there. So you could use, this is a 8-inch pot, you could use that. You could use a small 4-inch pot. It's kind of your preference because you're measuring around it. So what you want to do, I'm going to do it with a terracotta, and what I'm going to do is, actually, you know what, maybe I will do it with a big one, just so it doesn't drop. Okay, so let's try it with this guy. So I'm going to kind of just eyeball where I want it to be, and then I'm going to take these spiral guys just around and kind of give them a thumb measure here. Just kind of place my thumb. So I'm going to take 2 strands from my left side and 2 from the right. It really doesn't matter what 2 because they'll twist whichever way you create. Okay. And I'm going to sort of hover my pot. Do I want it up really high? Do I want it to hang really low? Maybe just right about in the middle there. I'm going to go probably right about here. And this is where I want my square knot to be. So I'm just going to hold my thumb there, remove the pot. All right. And I'm going to take those 4 strands and make 3 square knots just right down here. So I don't want them to go up too high. So I'm going to keep my thumb there, making my square knots. It's not an exact science here, okay, but I pull it kind of straight down, those center 2. That first one is just going to be loosey-goosey. It's the first, or the second half of your first knot. That'll kind of lock it in place. So just hold everything and then pull it tight. So you can see you've got 1 square knot. And if you want to do a little check, just to see like, oh, that's fine, okay? So I'm gonna go and do that 2 more times, so 3 total square knots with those same 4 cords.
All right, Mom. Are you still doing the video? Oh, dang it.
What?
Well, I have to do math, but I
Okay.
really need help.
You need help?
Yeah.
Okay. I can pause it.
What?
I can pause it and resume later. Okay, so we're gonna repeat this little set of 3 square knots along the side. So I'm gonna use 2 from my right spiral, the remaining 2, and then the 2 neighboring cords, and I'm gonna make another set of 3 square knots, the same spot as these other ones, okay? So the way I really do it is I pull down, and that's how I measure and see where I'm at. Keep holding it.
How do you, I don't know if this,
So if it's just about, it's fine. Mine's not 1000% perfect, but what in life is, right? Alrighty, one more. you see you've got 2 sets of 3 square knots. So now we're going to go 1 more set, and this is going to be with the center 4 and matching it up again. So I'm just going to kind of scoot this out of the way. Well, it's kind of hard to do that, but center 4 square knots right down in the same spot. The key here too is making sure you haven't twisted your cords when you start that first square knot, because then it'll always be twisted. So you want it to kind of be nice and straight, and then they'll lay really nice and straight over your pot or behind your pot. Okay. So now you've got 3 sets of 3 square knots. This guy, you've got this guy, and then the center 4. And you can see you should have 4 cords left. And guess what? You're going to make a set of 3 square knots with that. So straighten them out before you start. Otherwise, they'll be twisted. Okay. So now you've got your 4 sets of 3 square knots, these little stacks. And all we're going to do is we're going to put our pot, again, just as a measuring tool. We're not officially putting it in yet. You can kind of just stick it in there and eyeball how it's going to look. So if you want those to hang up higher, whoops, that's why I chose the plastic pot for this one. Okay, so don't worry, you'll get it in there good. But yes. What?
Hi. Look.
Okay, so what I'm doing is, there we go. Measuring, don't do that please. Holding my hand down here to where I want that gathering knot to be. I don't know if you can see that, but just holding it down at the bottom so you can see where I want my gathering knot to be. So I'm going to remove the pot and I'm going to do a gathering knot. So I'm going to do that up close for you. So watch that. All right, time for that gathering knot. You need a piece of cord that's about 2 to 3 feet long. It's your choice kind of how big you want that to be. And you're going to fold it so there's about 3 inches overlapping. And take the tail end down and the looped end up. And then you're going to cross it over and around all of your strands at the same time. Back down, over and around. So you're going to just go around. You don't want to go too tight here because what's going to end up happening, oops, see I was twisted there, so I just want to untwist it. What's going to end up happening is a knot is going to form under what you're wrapping. So just kind of nice and loose, everything will tighten at the end. So neatly wrapping it around. I go about 6 times, I think. And once I'm satisfied with how big my gathering knot is, I'm going to tuck it inside that loop that's at the top of my wrapping, and I'm going to pull both tails. So what happens is that pulls the knot, you'll see underneath all of the wrapping that I've made, and then you're going to have a hidden knot. So now you want to make sure you pull it nice and tight so that knot is secure inside your wrapping. And then all you're going to do is trim off your edges, and there's your gathering knot. All right, so you should have your gathering mat all situated. Take your pot and dun, 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 dun. You're going to pray it fits. No, I'm just kidding. Place it inside your, looks like I did not do that one correctly, but that's okay. Place it inside. So mine's kind of short, but that's okay. This one will be maybe more of like a trailing plant, or I could stick in my smaller pot and it would work just fine. You're gonna trim off the bottom and cut off the bottom, and you can fringe that out with a brush if you want, or just on the macrame, or I mean on the plant hanger ones, I like to sometimes keep the cords just the way they are instead of fringing them, just because they might get wet or whatever. So there you go. All right, today we are going to make this super cute macrame plant hanger. It's beginner friendly. We're gonna use simple square knots. This little fancy feature is optional, so don't you worry. It's real life during the quarantine, so I've got homeschool children. You're gonna hear little funny mom moments and background noises of Zoom classes going on, but you know what? We're gonna macrame through it. So hope you'll nod along with me and enjoy this tutorial.